Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. UPI reports that Israel's military carried out a second attack on Iran's South Pars petrochemical plant in Escalated on Monday. According to Defense Minister Israel Katz, this facility is Iran's largest petrochemical plant, responsible for approximately 50% of the country's production. Katz stated that this strike, combined with another major attack last week, has rendered about 85% of Iran's petrochemical exports inoperable, dealing a severe economic blow worth tens of billions of dollars to the Iranian regime. Iran's semi-official Tasnim news agency confirmed both attacks. The Israeli defense minister warned of further strikes on Iran's infrastructure if its terror regime continues aggression against Israel and cowardly and criminal firing at Israeli civilians. This escalation comes amid a war launched by the United States and Israel on February 28th, following U.S. President Donald Trump's earlier threat to massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars field if Iran attacked Qatar's energy infrastructure. According to Global News, Iran has rejected the latest ceasefire proposal, insisting instead on a permanent end to the war with guarantees against future attacks. This decision comes as U.S. President Donald Trump's ultimatum looms, threatening a major escalation if the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil shipping choke point, is not reopened. Iran stated it is working with Omani officials on a mechanism for administering the strait, whose closure has already caused global oil prices to surge. The rejection follows recent Israeli strikes on a key petrochemical plant in Iran's South Pars natural gas field and the killing of two paramilitary Revolutionary Guard commanders. Trump has warned Iran of severe consequences, including setting the country back to the Stone Ages, if his Tuesday deadline for a deal to reopen the strait is not met. Mediators from Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey had proposed a 45-day ceasefire, but Iran dismissed it, citing ongoing threats and war crimes. The region remains volatile with continued airstrikes and missile attacks reported across Iran, Lebanon, and Israel. Al Jazeera reports that a World Health Organization two-piece staff member was killed and several others injured when the Israeli army opened fire on their vehicle in southern Gaza. The deceased has been identified as driver Majdi Aslan, 54, who was shot in the head in eastern Khan Yunis. A doctor and several other Palestinians also sustained injuries in the incident, according to sources at Nasser and Al-Aqsa hospitals. Following this critical security incident, two-piece confirmed that medical evacuations from Gaza via the Rafah crossing to Egypt have been put on hold indefinitely. The report highlights that Israel continues its attacks on the Gaza Strip, with more than 700 Palestinians killed since a fragile ceasefire in October, and maintains restrictions on humanitarian aid entry. Al Jazeera reports that Libya's oil disputes in a growing external conflict are creating a new energy choke point, mirroring the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz. Following U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran and Tehran's response, which saw Brent crude soar, Europe sought Libyan oil due to its strategic location and desirable crude grades. However, Libya's sector is plagued by proxy wars between the internationally recognized government of national unity and Khalifa Haftar's forces, which control key oil infrastructure. A 2022 arrangement, the Arcanu Agreement, diverted billions in oil revenues to private accounts, undermining the Libyan state. Although terminated, its replacement is uncertain. Compounding this, Ukrainian naval drones allegedly struck a Russian tanker off Libya's coast and Russian munitions were found after a pipeline explosion, suggesting the Russia-Ukraine conflict is now impacting Libyan oil assets. This situation exacerbates Europe's energy vulnerabilities. NBC News reports that the United States added 178,000 jobs in March, exceeding expectations and demonstrating a resilient labor market, even as the war with Iran intensified and drove up oil prices. The unemployment rate also saw a slight decline to 4.3% from 4.4%. Key gains were observed in healthcare, construction, transportation, and warehousing sectors. Despite these positive headline figures, underlying indicators suggest the job market remains somewhat unstable. Wage growth slowed from 3.8% in February to 3.5% in March, falling short of forecasts. Additionally, combined revisions for January and February showed a net decrease of 7,000 payrolls. The labor force participation rate also dropped to its lowest level since November 2021. Experts warn that the full economic impact of the Iran conflict and soaring gasoline prices, which reached over 4 Casadares goalless, had yet to be fully captured by these surveys, posing potential challenges for the U.S. economy in the coming months. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.